Hey guys, it's your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great response video. Or commentary, I don't know, however you want to call it. I guess it's a response video. So we're back in the office with Uncle C. One good thing about Casey is he reinvents himself so often that there's kind of always new stuff to respond to. It's just fun to keep up with his latest iteration. So he's reinvented himself again. And I guess now he's going down kind of the pickup route. I know he's kind of done that before. He was never, he's like, women as a group live rent-free in Casey's head. They always have. But he was used to be more into stuff like relationships, self-improvement, stuff like that. So he's gone back to he's again denouncing his previous stuff. He's not even denouncing it. He's just kind of moving on to something new. Maybe he's denounced it again in previous videos. Who knows with him. So he's given advice in this latest video about how to pick girls up. And it's not that bad. It's he says in this video, he said, I promise you this is going to be one of the best videos that I've ever done. Well, it's like, well, all of your videos are terrible, so what does that even mean? But this one is kind of the exception. Like, would I show it to somebody as real advice? No. But there is some useful stuff in there, I think. So, yeah, and also I want to say he looks and seems happy. Seems like he's in good spirits. So he seems like he's doing a little better. So that's good to see. And maybe he's lightening up a little bit here. Okay, so this is all about basically what he's saying. He's mentioned this before. I don't watch him as regularly as I used to, but that these guys who are losers, they don't have a lot of money, they don't have a lot of professional success, they aren't doing anything with their lives, are having a lot of success with women. And he's been talking about yeah, well, that's how it goes, shit like that. So this video is about how to be the loser that women want to sleep with, or that women sleep with. So the first thing he says is that your styling doesn't matter. You need to look like you don't care. I would advise not taking this too far. Black Pill 101, the most important thing is looks. So how you look does matter, but that's looks or what matters, not styling. Styling is that metrosexual stuff. There are certain times where that's going to appeal to some women, but generally speaking, women don't really care. They don't really, the metro stuff doesn't impress them, and sometimes it even turns them off. If you're going bald and you want to improve your SMV, get hair transplants and, grow the hair out and have it look good. But you don't need to do shit dress in an impeccable style or anything like that. That doesn't make any difference. Your haircut doesn't need to be perfect or any shit like that. That stuff, all that stuff on the edges doesn't matter, and it's not going to help attract, generally speaking, it's not going to help attract women. Sometimes, like I say, it can even be negative. Now, Casey says, as a man, you've got to be a little bit rugged. No, I don't think so. I think that, I guess you don't want to, you don't want to come off as metro, but you don't need to look like a lumberjack or anything like that. It's not that you need to look rugged. It's just that you don't need, like I said, you don't want to be giving off a metro vibe. And it's not insofar as it isn't a negative, it doesn't help you. So it's just not something to worry about. You still want to look attractive, but that has nothing to do with looking stylish or sleek. You don't have to worry about that shit. When he says getting women has nothing to do with logic. So with that being the case, when you're trying to flirt with a girl or whatever, you never talk about purpose, like schoolwork, work, any of that shit. All the stuff that Casey used to think was really important. He said you don't talk about that shit with girls because they don't care. They don't care about that, and it's not flirty conversation. So I would definitely agree with that. And you can't, he said, you can't be thinking about it. You can't be like trying to like think of like a logical way to do this interaction. It has to just flow. Way easier said than done, to the point where it's almost not even advice, because it's like you can either do that or you can't, right? But still, I mean, it's true. It's true. Then he said, don't try to flex your money or your status. Yeah, I would agree. He said women do not care about how much money you have. It's true, they don't. They, I mean, like if she's just a gold digger just trying to get money from you, she'll care. But in terms of like pickup, women don't care how much is in your bank account, and so he's absolutely right about that. Nor do they care about your career. Now, if it's the exception would be if it's something like, you know, you're famous for it, or it's like a super like a socially high status, like being a doctor, like is not like it. Again, it might help with some, but generally that's not going to impress people. But if you're like an NFL player or something, like unless it's a career that like actually gets groupies, then don't be flexing your career, because women don't care about that any more than they care about money. And he said, like, don't ever like just on that same thing. Don't be trying to impress people. Don't do anything that's like you're trying to impress people. Again, flexing your money, your status, whatever. I know it's coming from Casey, but still, I would agree. I would say like women know that you're trying to like, if you're trying to like name drop or status drop or money drop, you know, whatever it is in the conversation, they know what you're doing. They know you're trying to impress them, and you just come off as a try hard faggot. Then he said what you want to do. He said that really pickup is all. It's not about what you say. It's all about the vibe. You know, women are all about the vibe. Like when you're talking to a man, that's where you're going to want to. Well, I mean. When you're talking to a man, that's where you're going to want to do like a logically, like a logical progression in the conversation, which is, and you talk to women that way too, unless you're trying to pick that woman up. If you're trying to pick her up, the logic shit goes out the window. It's a completely different type of conversation. Then it becomes all about the vibe. And I think I mentioned this before, but I had a class when I was a freshman in college where they said that men engage in report talk, women engage in rapport talk. Certainly, women are capable of engaging in report talk too, but women do engage in a lot of rapport talk. So if you're flirting, you want to be more on the rapport talk side, or if you're trying to flirt, you know, there's no like, you know, you can't do like this like autistic, you know, like say this, and like progress the conversation that way. It doesn't work, because it's all about the vibe. So in that case, you're going to want to dumb it down, not because they're stupid, but because the conversation has nothing, like it has no intellectual substance. So it's maybe if you're somebody who's like a really logical thinker, it can be, I guess, kind of frustrating to have like this just like completely vapid conversation. But that's what it's about. It's like the conversation, a flirting conversation, has no substance. It's pure vibe. So you just have to put that aside, I guess, or overcome it if you're able to do that. Well, I'm certainly not able to do that. Then he goes on to basically say in so many words, just act like a complete jackass. He doesn't say that, but if you listen to the rest of what he's saying, that's what he's talking about. Now, I would advise against that. I don't think that's a very good idea. I know what he's saying, but I think that's going to be a mistake for most people. And basically, he says, be the life of the party. No, I don't think that that's necessary. Certainly you don't want to be like a class clown type or court jester type thing. Not that I think that's what he was saying, but do you have to be the life of the party? No, I don't think so. I mean, No, I don't think so. I mean, it could be helpful in some situations, but I would definitely advise against trying to do it because he's the one who was saying this, like, don't be too try hard and stuff. If you're out there trying to be the life of the party, people are gonna notice it, and you're gonna look really fucking stupid. Yeah, sure, maybe Casey's had some success with it so far, but there's other issues going on there. No, I would advise against that, and I don't think it's necessary. Then he goes into this thing. He says you need daddy energy. I'm not sure what that has to do with the rest of the stuff he says, but he goes and she's like, think about what daddy does. He buys the girl ice cream, and he goes and he screams at the Oakland Raiders. Okay, this whole daddy energy thing, I think, is kind of like big in pickup now. I don't know. I think Hamza's the one who's been saying a lot of shit like that. Like, you should be like her dad. And I know that is like a big Zoomer kink. Yeah, I don't think that's a very good idea. I don't think that you need daddy energy. So Casey's saying he buys the girl ice cream, and he screams at the Oakland Raiders. Like, okay, the buying ice cream part, I don't get. Like, I don't really know exactly what he's saying there. I don't want to know. Screams at the Oakland Raiders, like be a jackass, stereotypical American suburban father. Not every dad is screaming at the TV. There's there's different ways of raising kids. People have different personalities. I know people who are fathers who are really quiet and reserved. I know fathers who are, loud jackasses. I know fathers who like football a lot. I know fathers who don't. And I know people who, like, when they watch football, they scream at the TV, and some who are really stoic. And I guess Casey's done with all the stoicism shit. Yeah, I don't think that's going to help. I really don't. I think that's, first of all, I'm not sure Casey himself even knows what he means by daddy energy. But no, I don't think that's going to help. And then, I mean, obviously, you have to keep in mind all these things. It's like, it's picking up, this is about casting a wider net. This isn't going to work it's not going to work. Not only is it not going to work with all women, it's not going to work with most women. The idea is that it's ideally going to work with some women who are open to being picked up by random guys. Not all women are. But, it is kind of like, so Casey gives this story then at the end about basically what he was doing this past weekend. It sounds like he was out just acting like a total jackass, almost like peacocking with his fashion, wearing a cowboy hat and this shirt this like pseudo Hawaiian shirt that he thinks is cool with the collar popped up. And he was just going around with the baseball bat and saying, round up the troops, and then just shouting out, like, yeah, stuff like that. And, I don't even know what the fuck he was talking about. Basically just being, like, a complete, total jackass, totally humiliating himself. But he said that girls were responding really well to him. They were, like, giggling and laughing and following him around. And some girl even explicitly told him, like, take me home and fuck me. So, like, you could think, like, well, maybe that didn't actually happen. It's Casey. I think it probably did. I've always got the impression that Casey's actually okay with women. But I think that, we need to, like, examine it a little further. It's like, okay, yeah, you had some success. Some girls who were laughing, some girls who were into you. But those are just the ones we hear about. What about all the girls who thought that you acted like a complete tool and that you were just, like, totally gay? And then totally corny. And then, and also, you have to think in mind, like, the looks. I mean, this is only relevant because you pass the looks threshold. I mean, he still is an okay looking guy. And, I know he's not the tallest guy, but he's not short, and he's got, a good physique. He's a big, strong guy. And he is a fairly masculine. He's got that. I don't know if it's a fake voice, but he has kind of a deep voice. So, but like basically, it sounds like Casey's had a lot of success with women just because he's aggressive and he is kind of a natural salesman, so he's good at closing. But and then obviously there's enough looks there. And he's just an inconsiderate ass, which can help, which can help sometimes as well. But it doesn't sound like he's ever had the like real experience that Cole has. That's his brother. If you're new to the channel or haven't seen the other Casey videos, like Cole's the one who's like a true Chad. Like women come up to him, and Casey's never had that. But he's saying that this weekend, by being a complete jackass, he did get to experience that. I mean, okay, yeah, look, I mean, you do whatever works, right? I think it does show how much, this is what I mean when I say, like, personality matters. It's like having that vibe. Doesn't mean you're a good person, doesn't mean you're likable, it just means that, I don't know, that women like your vibe, right place at the right time, and, it might just be like when she's drunk and that night, you might not be able to sustain it. I certainly wouldn't recommend it, because even if it works, it's like, don't you have any self-respect? And a lot of it just seems like basically what he's done is just rediscover the pickup artist stuff from the aughts, who they said a lot of the stuff they said was very similar. I know RSD, just like Owen Cook from RSD, tries to do that kind of stuff, tries to be the life, goes out, shouts out stuff. And from what I've heard from people who've been there and, done it, is that it doesn't work and they just humiliate themselves. So Casey, living in his, Plains shithole, maybe can have more success with it, because again, he is on the better looking side. But I mean, whatever, I mean, if it's working and have fun, I don't think it's going to work for most people. I would just say, a lot of the stuff, like, any type of like red pill or PUA, when there is good advice, it's more about the stuff that they advise you not to do. Like, don't be try hard. Don't worry about your styling. Don't worry about having a six-pack. Women don't care about any of that shit. Don't try to to impress anybody. And then also, and then what it's really about is having that great vibe, having that sort of magnetic vibe. And there are different kinds of charisma and stuff. Like I'm super charismatic, in my opinion, but it's not like the kind of that charisma can maybe show in small groups, but it wasn't show in speeches. And it's not the kind of charisma that's attractive to women. It's not like, there's different types of charisma. And, but I mean, like, I want to say you either have it or you don't, but I've watched enough Casey's videos that he doesn't have it. And yet he's saying he was still able to have a lot of success with it. I don't know. I mean, I didn't see this event, so I don't know what happened. I guess it might work in some situations if you try to, like, force this charisma just by being a jackass. But the thing is, Casey genuinely is a jackass. So him just going out and having fun, like, he said, like, it shouldn't be about her. It should be you just go out there and have fun. It's like, well, the way Casey has fun, apparently, is to go and act like a total jackass. I don't think that's fun. I don't want to go out. I don't think it's fun for me to go out and humiliate myself. But if he does enjoy it, yeah, I could see there's some situations where he's got enough going in the looks range that, that there's some girls who are into that. I mean, I admit I'm kind of surprised, but yeah, I could see that working. So yeah, I mean, again, it's not like Casey's not good, but we're seeing some signs of progress here. Some signs of like more understanding of reality. And if he's getting away from that self-improvement shit, then that's good. Because again, if you're like, if you're talking about self-improvement for the purpose of getting women, like the only self-improvement that matters is improving your SMV, and dressing better does not improve your SMV. A good haircut does not improve your SMV. Lifting weights does not improve your SMV. The only things you can do to improve your SMV are, leg lengthening surgery, plastic surgery on your face, hair transplants, and losing weight. And then if you if you have bad hygiene, then that will hurt you. So that, like, have good hygiene. But that's not really something that helps you. That's just getting rid of something that hurts you. In fact, most of the things you can do, like if you're Norwooding and you get hair transplants, I mean, having that hair, it didn't help you. It just got rid of something that hurts you. Same thing like if you lose weight, all that did was get rid of your fat that was hurting you. It doesn't really make you more attractive. It just reveals how your actual level of attractiveness underneath. So yeah, I mean, those are the only things that are going to help. Anything like beyond that stuff is just, you don't need it. It's not going to help. Don't worry about it. I mean, unless you're doing, I mean, not to attract women at least. You know, if you're doing it for you or whatever, then fine. But it's not going to help with women. The only exception again is if you're a tall framelit, then adding some muscle probably will help. That's the only exception. Yeah, that's really much the only exception that I can think of. But anyway, that's all for now. See you in the next.